皆さんこんばんは。
Have you seen this young woman before? With her beautiful features, innocent eyes. She was once an angel who accompanied countless people in their dreams. But at the end of 2023, she became a real angel, leaving this world behind. Her death was like a grain of sand sinking into the ocean, hardly causing a ripple. She was so small and insignificant that even her last call unheard. Her name is Yokomiya Nanami, a Japanese adult film actress. Depression caused her to end her own life. Despite her best efforts to survive in society, she could not change her own destiny. The story of the Yokomiya Nanami reflects the erosion of women by Japan's distorted culture. Their 3 measurements are clearly marked like price tags on products. This large-scale distorted industrial chain, becoming a nightmare that countless Japanese women can't shake off even after putting in their entire lives. On December 10, 2023, shocking news spread through Japan's adult entertainment industry. Renowned actress Yokomiya Nanami had taken her own life after battling depression. The sudden news stunned many of her fans, as Nanami's social media presence had always seemed bright and cheerful. Unwilling to believe that she has passed away, netizens are trying to recreate her life experiences. What they uncovered left many feeling helpless. The first detail that caught attention was how news of her death was announced, not by parents or relatives, but by her best friend. The Twitter post didn't mention the cause or exact date of death, simply stating that Nanami had recently passed away, and hoping people would remember her forever. Logically, shouldn't her parents have made this announcement? Why hadn't there been any mention of her parents since her death? As people learned more about Nanami's life, they discovered that her parents were actually the source of much of her misfortune. Born in 2002, Nanami grew up with parents who strongly favored sons over daughters. They frequently physically and verbally abused Nanami and her younger sister. Her father, believing education was wasted on girls, tried to force both sisters out of the house and make them drop out of school to work, to ensure she and her younger sister could continue education. At the age of 17, Nanami was still in high school, starting working at maid stores and nightclubs. Clearly, these 2 modest incomes weren't enough to support both sisters. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit in 2021, devastating many industries, 19-year-old Nanami felt she had no choice but to enter the adult film industry. However, this wasn't an easy path. Her first videos didn't sell well, leaving her burdened with significant debt. Her parents, who already considered her profession shameful, completely cut ties with her upon learning of her debts. They even spreaded rumors that she had been smoking and dating with guys since high school, even claiming she slept with someone's nerdy boyfriend. They used these stories to warn her younger sister to stay away from Nanami. But Nanami proved herself capable. In just 2 years, she appeared in over 400 productions, gaining a devoted following. At barely 20 years old, she won the first place in the Audience Choice Award for Best VR Production in late 2021. Earned praise from renowned directors, and achieved significant industry milestones. But when did death begin stalking this young girl? On March 5, 2023, Nanami received a final message from her mother. "I'll expose you, just watch." To Nanami, it seemed her parents would never accept who she had become. Perhaps cutting ties was the best choice for everyone. In early November 2023, Nanami posted a simple message: "Farewell forever." Just as fans began to worry, she returned to social media, acting as if she had merely faced and overcome typical industry challenges. Her followers breathed a sigh of relief. But from November 23rd, her social media took a darker turn. Beneath seemingly bright, cheerful photos, she wrote increasingly depressing captions. She began posting photos taken from rooftops, and finally shared what appeared to be a suicide note. "Thank you for all your love. I hope everyone can find happiness. I will live on in your hearts." Before fans could reach out, the tragic news arrived. Looking back, there were warning signs. At some point, she had changed her profile picture to an angel with wings. Her ID became "Even in death, I want to see you." And her bio read, "After rebirth, I will meet you again." In her recent work, viewers noticed scars on her arms. Her once bright eyes had lost their sparkle, becoming emotionless pools. At the end of one production, appearing drunk, she went off script, repeatedly asking her male porn partner if he loved her and would marry her. When he tried to comfort her saying he liked her best, she clutched a pillow and began to cry. Finally, she raised a glass to the camera in a toast. And then she threw it away in a fit of pique. Everything pointed to her growing desire to leave this world. Yet this love-starved young woman gave all the love she had to those around her. She was a huge fan of singer Yutaka Ozaki, often sharing his videos on her alternate account. She acclaimed Ozaki her only salvation. She would say she wished she could have lived in his era. Every April 25th, Ozaki's death anniversary, she would sing his songs and visit his grave in Shibuya to leave flowers. But a deceased singer couldn't save a girl trapped in her own prison. She had walked as far as she could on the strength of her idol's inspiration, but now she was simply too tired to go on. When news of her death broke, the first to break down were her best friend and female fans who had received her replies. Working at the Maid Cafe, she had helped her suicidal best friend, despite battling depression herself. They had jokingly exchanged their strongest medications. During these days, Nanami kept her phone volume at maximum, terrified of missing any cry for help. Her responses to struggling fans were always full of warmth and love. "If only I could be an opportunity for children whose lives are in trouble. The me that was born again, and then the you that met again. I'm so nervous. Trying hard not to die, so you must try hard to live too. Let's meet again in this world, the two of us." But this gentle, kind-hearted girl, constrained by her parents and society, ultimately chose to end her life. Many fans of Nanami are conflicted. They want to make her life better by supporting her works. But they also want her to get out of the business earlier. But it's all a conspiracy of the capitalists. After Nanami's death, her agency didn't waste her final commercial value. They sold videos at her memorial service, even rewriting a film synopsis to tell a story where the male lead lives happily with Nanami as newlyweds, until she dies from an incurable illness. One day, he meets another woman named Nanami who looks, sounds, and acts exactly like his deceased wife, and they fall in love. This action enraged many of Nanami's fans, who condemned the agency's inhuman behavior. The agency's response was blunt. "If you're capable, then don't watch our videos." This effectively silenced most critics. Within Asia, only Japan and South Korea have legal adult film industries. With limited resources in these two countries and massive demand across Asia, their production capacity clearly falls short. This is even more apparent when it comes to production quality. If people don't watch Japanese or Korean productions, what else can they watch? Whether adult film industries should exist has long been a heated topic. However, people often only see the glamorous faces of adult film actresses, unaware of the terrifying dark side behind it. In Japan, the sex industry has a long history. Whether you're an idol group star, athlete, wealthy young lady, or like Nanami, an ordinary girl from the bottom of society, the sex industry's doors are always equally open to everyone. During the Tokugawa period in Japan, the role of Miko emerged. Women had to maintain their purity before becoming Miko, but men believed they could communicate with deities by having relations with these maidens. Thus, at the time, visiting prostitutes was essentially equivalent to offering incense at temples. Most of this offering money went into official pockets, leaving very little for the Miko. The authorities actively promoted yukaku, what we commonly call brothels. The women there were called yujo. The yu in Japanese refers to play or entertainment, and the meaning of yujo needs no further explanation. At that time, Japan used Chinese Confucian texts as core textbooks, but deliberately removed certain content to align with local customs. For example, the well-known principle of men and women should maintain proper distance was deleted. There was a famous literary figure in Japan at that time named Ahara Saikaku. His most popular work was The Life of an Amorous Man, along with other erotic novels like 5 Women Who Loved Love and The Great Mirror of Male Love. These were all banned books in China at the time. Additionally, Japanese erotic art depicted beautiful women in very vivid and graphic ways. It's clear that ancient Japan provided broad prospects for today's adult entertainment industry. Women have been victims of this distorted culture from ancient times to the present. During the Meiji period, Japan could freely send women abroad to sell their bodies and profit from their labor. Obviously, in today's civilized society, such methods wouldn't work. So how does Japan handle it now? The most common tactic is frequently showcasing the dream lives of top actresses. In Japan, there are documentaries about industry leaders. The most famous in the adult film world is Ichika Ichiho, known as the Billion-Yen Woman. Why is she called this? Because Ichiho's birthday is in September, and every September her clients lavish her with expensive gifts. In this month alone, her income easily exceeds 100 million yen. Ichiho's colleagues also live well. In Japan, where real estate is extremely scarce, she lives in a luxury mansion worth 500 million yen, filled with designer brands like Hermes. These actresses are packaged as examples of ordinary people achieving success. Under media promotion and brainwashing, many young women believe that prejudice against adult film stars is decreasing, as many appear on TV shows and gain large fan followings. But these girls don't realize that there's only room for a few at the top of the pyramid. The bottom is a completely different story. Under the capitalists' multiple traps, they never think they'll end up at the bottom of the pyramid. False advertising is a common trick used by these adult film companies. They lure inexperienced young women with promises of high salaries, hiding traps in thick contracts, and using high penalty clauses to trap the girls. Initially, most girls know nothing about what they'll be filming. After shooting 1 or 2 regular productions, they're forced to film more extreme content, even satisfying the special interests of certain deviant audiences. If the girls try to terminate their contracts at this point, they face enormous financial penalties. They have no choice but to submit to authority. Why do these girls enter the adult entertainment industry? Ultimately, it comes down to one word: poverty. The author of Tokyo's Impoverished Women spent 3 years interviewing and following multiple women from society's lowest rungs. They uncovered alarming statistics. After the pandemic, women accounted for 70% of Japan's layoffs. In Japan, women's survival space is extremely limited. They must split their time between caring for children and working to maintain a living. In the workplace, women typically face low-paying, high-intensity positions. Under these conditions, many women have no choice but to rely on the sex industry to survive. The reasons behind women's limited survival space are numerous: distorted culture, unfair resource distribution, flawed social systems, and government inaction. Each issue is too complex for any individual or even group to solve. In places unseen by the public, countless adult film actresses take their own lives each year. Girls living in bus stations or mental hospitals are a common sight. These are both individual choices and stains on Japanese culture. Netflix once produced a documentary series exploring Japan's sex industry titled Love and Sex, Japan. One episode featured 3 experienced adult film actresses: Yuna Ogura, Minami Aizawa, and Maro Hamasaki. Aizawa graduated from Seizen University's English department. After a year of persuasion from the company, she entered the industry. Ogura had planned to become an adult film actress since high school. Despite her parents' strong opposition, she thought it was cool to make money with her body and could support her parents. Hamasaki was discovered by a talent scout at 18 and began appearing in adult films with her family's support. These 3 actresses' experiences illustrate different tiers of treatment within the industry. Actresses like Aizawa are called exclusive actresses, only required to film 1 to 2 productions per month, with good treatment and high pay. In contrast, Hamasaki, during her 11-year career, appeared in over 1,000 productions, essentially filming every 3 days with no yearly breaks. Like Hamasaki, Nanami filmed over 400 productions in 2 years. More horrifyingly, this meant she had to film every 1.8 days, also with no breaks. Both belonged to the project's single category of actresses, lacking protection and forced to constantly increase their filming rate to prove their value. However, actresses are evaluated based on sales. Lower-tier actresses who can't open up the market are abandoned by their agencies, sometimes unable to even get filming opportunities. Another woman, Shiori Yamada, was also featured in Tokyo's Impoverished Women. When her father was laid off during her high school years, she took out high-interest student loans to attend a prestigious university. By her sophomore year, she was working at adult entertainment establishments. With her attractive appearance and perfect figure, Yamada quickly earned her first significant income. Gradually, she began to take pride in her work. After graduation, she decided to become a project single actress to resolve her debt faster. However, when the author met her again, she was living in a local mental hospital, relying on alcohol and drugs to escape reality. Perhaps some still think adult film actresses' work is just about frequent filming and intense competition. However, many things cannot be spoken about on camera. Writer Suzumi Suzuki, born into a prestigious family and graduated from the world-renowned University of Tokyo, entered the industry and appeared in over 100 productions. She shared experiences of having insecticide lit on her back and being suspended in the air until nearly suffocating from candle smoke. A scandal emerged from a company called Bark Visual, where an actress was secretly drugged and brutally abused until her internal organs were damaged, suffering multiple assaults. Under male jungle law, the actress's pain became their source of excitement. Famous actress Ari Iijima chose to end her life at 36. In her final note, she wrote that the adult video world was a dirty, cold-blooded, and overly direct world. You might wonder how much money these actresses make for such physical sacrifice? At one establishment, for a 20-minute session, after deducting venue fees and mama-san commission, an actress receives about 225 yuan, approximately $31. The pay might seem generous, but this industry runs on luck. With good luck, it's an hourly wage. With bad luck, it might become a weekly wage. According to incomplete statistics, over 300,000 women work in Japan's adult entertainment industry, generating hundreds of billions to trillions of yen annually for Japan. Yet many workers end up in bus stations or mental hospitals. Where does all this money go? The answer is obvious. On May 27, 2022, Japan enacted regulations to protect adult film actresses' rights, requiring filming to be voluntary, establishing cooling-off periods for contract consideration, and allowing actresses to refuse filming if injured, with production companies bearing the losses. While this appeared to protect actresses' rights, it actually made survival harder for lower-tier workers. In practice, companies retain top exclusive actresses as their brand while mass signing newcomers, exhausting their commercial value before quickly replacing them. These discarded actresses often turn to the sex industry or illegal unprotected productions. Nanami's death is undoubtedly a heartbreaking tragedy and serves as a warning bell for Japan's adult entertainment industry. In Japan, there are many girls like Nanami, fleeing their original families only to encounter one trap after another in society. Their stories reflect a historical stain, just as Laro Shu concluded in Rickshaw Boy. Humans have raised themselves above beasts, yet still drive their fellow humans back among them. Perhaps now Nanami has reunited with her idol Yutaka Ozaki. May she be reborn as an innocent, happy little girl in her next life. Good night, Miss Nanami. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this case, don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow Case Diaries, there are plenty more cases coming your way. Got thoughts on today's story? Drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. See you in the next one.